Welcome to another episode of the Upstate Golf Guys podcast. Today I have Mikey with me and Roger. What's up, guys?
What up?
And our guest today is a Troy native, loves golf. He has a lot of fun stories to tell us. So we're just going to sit back and hang out with our buddy Tom Casey. What's up, Tom?
How you doing? Glad to be here.
Glad to have you on, man. So let's get started with Frear Park talk since that was our two really most listened to episodes for sure. What do you think about all the new renovations, man, at Frear Park?
Well, let me tell you, I was in a league. I'm still in a league on Monday nights, and I can remember we were starting out, and we were teeing off on the 11th, and we looked over. And the guy working had a big bag of fertilizer on his shoulder, and he was just throwing it all over the green. And that's when they burnt the 17th, and it was out of commission for a long time. I mean, they even wrote in the bunker on 3 like Frear sucks or something. It was oh my God, it was ridiculous. And just to see all the money they put in, and it's like everybody just says it now. Oh, this is the nicest golf course in the area. And nobody seems to argue about it.
Mm-hmm. Municipal course for sure. I mean, there's not a nicer municipal course in the area, maybe in the state of New York, really. I mean,
I think it's up there with some country clubs that I've played around here. I'm not going to name the few country clubs.
There's a couple things that need to be done, but it's right up there. The course itself is phenomenal now.
Absolutely. I didn't mention that Tom is the majority leader of the Troy City Council, so he's got some inside info of Troy as well. So that's awesome for sure. But yeah, the renovations over there, what Greg Tudor did and company. I always say Greg Tudor, but I got to give his whole team the shout out because he says it that he could never do it without all of them. But
they're the best, man. I mean, he's on point, and you always see him. We always say he's the hardest worker in the city, and he's got a great crew. I mean, but everybody's real serious about it now, and it's just a great job. And like I said, way back when it was a disaster, nobody cared, and now everybody cares. And I think that's kind of what's going on in the city now. Like everybody seems to care now, and the golf course is just great.
Mm-hmm. Oh my God, yeah, money well spent for sure. I mean, I say it every day.
Absolutely. I mean, going out there playing temporary greens, like you said, the burnt greens. It was like you'd bring someone there and be like, dude, why are you bringing me here? There's so many other places we go. But as a Troy guy, it's your home course. You always want to, go there and get around it. But when you're playing hit it in a circle and it counts as a 2-putt, it's like, oh, all right, I guess. It was torture.
Temporary greens. I remember actually just before Greg came and there was like dandelions growing in the middle of the fairway. Yeah. It was like they definitely, I don't know who was running the course at the time, but they definitely didn't have any course knowledge. From what I heard, they just hired, the average Joe that knows how to mow the lawn. Basically, the best. It's more than just mowing lawns. That's for sure.
Yep.
Yeah, it was just your average Parks and Rec guy. You know what I mean? They didn't have any experience running a golf course. They just treated it as if it was the ball field at 112th or something. There was no expertise there, which we all know a golf course requires expertise.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Yeah, the first thing I ever noticed when Greg Tudor first took over was, what was it? The hole right before the gully hole.
4.
The turnaround on the greens.
Remember that?
When he chopped down the tree and he manicured everything up. Oh my God, I flipped my lid. I was like, who is this dude? Yeah. He knows his shit.
Yeah, that green used to always be so soggy, remember?
Used to have like all kinds of burn marks in it all the time.
And everything else.
Yeah.
It just was the worst green on the course now.
So Tom, you've been playing Frear a long time. What's some good Frear Park stories you got for us?
Well, maybe I should I'm going to tell you a real quick background. I sucked at golf. I never tried to be good at golf at all. So last winter I said, I'm going to do it, man. I'm going to, not this past winter, year before. I'm going to do something here. So I took a few lessons and then I practiced. I was at the bunker in the middle of the winter. I was at Mohawk. I did everything. I bought the best clubs. I bought pink G425s across the board, top of the line, whether that made a difference. I don't know. So this year, I know it's pitiful to some people, but I started to score, under 100. Not every time, but pretty close. You could, pretty close to it. But this year I got a hole in one.
Oh,
Oh,
nice.
Cheers, bro.
Yeah,
Cheers. You're one of only on our podcast right now.
What
well, I'm going to tell you the story behind it. I did it with a driver.
Okay.
Well, you can laugh all you want, but I'm going to tell you the story.
Tell me more.
There was a guy in my league, and he would walk up to that ninth hole, and he would, with his driver, just hit it easy. But he hit it exactly where he wanted every time. And he was on the green. He kept getting closest to the green every week. Almost every week, it seemed like he was winning money. It was so. I said, "Let me try that." And you know what? Every time, for the most part, when I'm up there at the ninth, right, just to the right of the cart path, right towards that hill, it goes right up that hill, and then rolls. Sometimes it rolls off. Some of it. But you'd be surprised using this guy's method. I said, hey, it works. You know what I mean? Nothing really, I can't hit really my 5, 6, and 7 iron, maybe a little 7, not that good. I'm not that good at golf. And bang. And it just went, and and it was pretty wild.
Absolutely.
Because
That's
my
a-
entire golf league was parked right there.
Oh, that's amazing.
Nice.
And they knew how bad I was at golf for so long. And everybody kept saying all year, oh, man, you're doing so much better. And golf was no longer frustrating for me. And then, boom, to have that happen was really awesome.
So I got it.
So what'd that cost you back at Park Pub?
Oh, and they hit you hard, right? The Miller Lite guys ordering double, whatever, but I took it.
Absolutely.
I love it.
Nice.
I love it.
You know what I mean?
Do you still got the ball?
Oh, yeah. I still haven't bought anything. I looked it on the computer. So, of course, every 2 minutes an ad comes up. It's something I could buy that, I'll get something. I just haven't gotten anything yet.
Yep.
But like I said, the thing that stopped me from getting anything, because it always asks you what kind of club. And I'm thinking the guy doing the engravings, like, well, look at this guy. You got to let his driver. And it sounds embarrassing, but, I even was, I'm at Route 4 or Mill Road almost every other day. And for a couple shots, for 5 balls, I'll do that with the driver. And it's still a good shot for me.
Yeah, if it works.
If it works, stick with it, man.
Yeah. So I got to just tell you, man, I just interviewed the world record holder, Tom Koenig. Awesome guy. It's going to be dropping in a couple weeks. But he just golfed 580 courses in 365 days. That was the world record. But he played a whole lot more golf than that. You know how many hole-in-ones? I think he gave me, 160,000 attempts. You know how many hole-in-ones he has?
How many?
0.
Oh,
So he said, I have a lot of not hole-in. I said I have a lot of good not hole-in-one stories. We laughed, but so man, you're in a rare.
Especially at Frear Park, you don't see a lot of hole-in-ones.
You don't, absolutely.
I've seen one on a Sunday in our loop, and it was on the second hole. But the way he hit it and where the pin was, we couldn't really see it. It kind of disappeared. We didn't know if it rolled off the back because of the hill on the left there. And then we get up there, and it was in the hole. It was a hole.
Boom. And the other thing is, it wasn't like some kind of crazy shot that I'm not going to say it was skill, because, that's got some luck in it. But it went exactly where I'd been playing. So I was happy about that.
Yep.
That's amazing. Yeah, no, I've golfed for, so I started playing seriously when I was like 21, 22, but probably, I don't know, over in the thousands of rounds of golf, and only been close to a hole in one, man. Never had one yet, but it's
Well,
just
how close? How close have you guys been? How close?
I've been a foot. I've taken pictures. I've taken pictures close enough to take a picture and send it to my golf buddies and look and say, look how fucking close.
Oh.
So Frear Park, actually, on the 9th hole last year, I hit that I don't know what they're called, aprons or the curtains on the left side.
Yep.
That if you hit perfectly, it runs right to the middle of the green.
Right.
So I told Mike, I think Mike yelled, "Get in the hole, get in," because you watch it roll right by. I said, "We'll know how close this actually is and how close it would have been once we get there, because the pin was at the middle of the green. I hit that apron and just rolled. It was literally probably 2 inches above the pin. So it rolled by the hole. It ended up being 3 feet by the pin. It wasn't enough to take a picture, but it was within 2 inches high of the pin, where it, like I said, I would be able to tell how close it was when it rolled by. And so I've had a lot of really close calls. Mikey has had a couple close calls.
I had one on 13 2 years ago. Because that hole always plays a little bit longer. So I always go from like my 6 to my 4 hybrid on that hole. I hit it just short of the green. Pin was middle front. One hopped, hit the stick, and then dropped directly down next to the pin. I'm like, oh man, you're killing me. And then I think that same year, the 4th of July, I stuck one on 9 within 3 inches, and it was behind the hole. So when we were up on the tee box, we didn't see it. So my excitement was, I was like, all right, we got to get down there. I was the first one to tee off, so I got 3 other guys to wait for. I was ready to start sprinting down there because I thought it went in, and I carred up. I'm like, man, tap in bird, I'll take it, but I want that hole in one.
Don't you wish you had there was a camera on there to see like how close it rolled by the
I think all courses, every par 3 should have cameras set up to where you can. If at the end of the round, if you want a video, you can buy it, just like back at Great Escape days when you used to get the pictures on the roller coasters.
That's an amazing idea. That's
you know what I mean?
I mean, it would cost some money, but you could definitely make it back. I mean, with some amazing shots by the photo or by the video.
Absolutely.
Nobody really sends somebody down to the other, at the green view for a video shot. I'm always videoing from where we're hitting the ball from, and you can never really see the ball. I mean, we're using our phones. These people that we see on the internet are using probably $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 cameras. That's how we're seeing the ball fly so cleanly. And, we just don't have that. So I think I don't know. I'm not saying Frear Park could do that because they've spent enough money, but I think that's an amazing idea, Mike, with the par 3.
Absolutely.
I always like the idea of the 18th hole, especially like a place like Crump and Fox, where you could watch them coming in. Yep. Have a little screen of the whole video, at least just on the 18th hole, of where you could watch people coming in and have the ball tracer.
Everybody at the clubhouse can watch you.
Right? Yeah. I mean, how bad you are, how good you are. I mean, it could go both ways. I think it would be fun.
Dude, you said 13th hole, you guys, and I shivered. I got a pretty wild story on the 13th hole. You're never going to believe this.
Let it rip.
And I didn't even think of this. You said 13. So me and my boy, Danny Doyle, he works for Public Utilities. We golf together a lot. So we pull up the 13 and we're waiting. So they're on the green. So we kick back. I got my feet up. I'm relaxing. We're relaxing there. All of a sudden, these guys are teeing off from 14. We hear 4. So we look. We don't see nothing. The ball comes right into the cart, right into my left nut.
Oh, snap.
It was the worst.
Oh my God.
It was the worst. And I crawl out of the cart. I'm on my knees. The guy comes up. Hey, you got my ball. See my ball?
It's not my ball.
my friend Dan goes, yo, it hit him in the nuts. And the guy's like, what? And I go, I can't even speak. I'm like, don't worry.
That's great.
So I thought I was going to the emergency room, major surgery. So I look, everything was okay. And I stuck with it because I said, you know what? If I just leave right now and go home, I don't know. So I stuck with it. I couldn't walk really for like 3 holes. Then it got a little better, but I was banged up for a few days. But the drive was like, I don't know, man. Maybe, I don't know. It had to be 150 at least.
Yeah.
Wow.
Right, boom, right into me.
Oh.
Wow.
I've seen someone
Ouch.
get hit there as well, because that's kind of a dangerous hole. Because if someone does shank it, especially if like you're driving up that cart path, you're in trouble. So I was playing with my old man and one of his buddies. It's about 4 or 5 years ago, and the guy we were playing with hit his shot short, landed on the fairway on 13. Meanwhile, there's a guy playing solo about to tee off on 14. All of a sudden, you hear 4, and this guy was like 72, 73 years old. We were playing with. He catches one right below the kneecap, and this thing blew up like he had 2 kneecaps.
Ugh.
Same thing though. He was an OG. He finished the round. He was like, all right, yeah, I'm keep playing. I'm gonna keep. I'm like, dude, you got 4 kneecaps. Like,
Go to
this
the
out.
doctor. I've been close to hit, but never been hit the top of the golf cart once. You know, I heard that scared the shit out of me.
I almost shanked him with one.
Yeah, a couple close calls. I'm a ready golfer, so I'll take my clubs and I'll walk ahead to my ball, and I'll be. Listen, if I get hit with your shot, I tell people at the beginning of the round, it's on me. It's my stupidity. Hit your shot. But he's definitely almost crushed me a couple times. I mean, like literally.
You think he's aiming?
Maybe. You know.
Oops! Off the toe.
Some days I feel like he wants to kill me. Absolutely, especially starting this podcast thing. He really wants to kill me now.
When I sucked in my league, I hit off 14. They were coming up the cart, and it just ricocheted off the cart right behind the guy. I mean, I can't imagine if I hit him because it was going a million miles an hour. I was like, oh my God.
So
I wasn't his favorite for a while, and that's when I think I decided to get a little better.
So I've been injured. I've been banged up. Never left the round. I finished my round, but the one time I had to leave. This is a good Frear Park story. Shooting the round of my life. I was on the 8th hole. I mean, I was only in the front 9, so back 9 is where I usually fall apart anyways if I'm having a good round. But I was like literally 2 or 3 over through 8. So I was shooting really well through the tough part of Frear Park. All of a sudden, my wife calls me, like hysterical. You got to come home. She's like, yeah, you got to bring me to the hospital, the ER. She said, I was doing dishes. She cut her hand to the bone. It was really bad. Doing dishes. She was doing the wine glass, and it's shattered, and her hand was inside. And I rushed off. I literally backtracked, drove back over Frear Park Road, right directly beeline to the clubhouse. I actually cut down Frear Park Road and cut over to 1 and cut over to my car and got there, you know, as quick as possible. But it was bad. I mean, it was. I think it was like she needed like 13 stitches, something. 13 stitches or staples or whatever they did. But it was to the bone, and that was the only time I ever actually had to leave for a round of golf. It was a tough situation. I always yell at her for that one because I said I was shooting so well and I had to leave.
Round of my life. You couldn't have done this at 6 o'clock tonight.
Right,
Well,
exactly.
You're a retired fire captain, paramedic, so you know you're good to go, right?
Oh,
I
I've
mean,
seen some like that was a nasty thing. Seeing cuts, and man, some people like tripped on the stairs and went through the front window on the door, and oh man,
Yep.
yeah,
nasty.
You've seen some nasty.
How long were you a fireman?
I was I was a fireman for 20 years. I ended up being a captain. My father was a captain. My uncle was a captain. My son Tommy's a captain.
Nice. It's in the blood.
Good for you, man.
Nice.
I
Props to you.
respect that.
Thank you
Absolutely.
for your service. Actually,
Yeah, we need that here in Troy.
there's not many
I
people.
love it, man. I always say there's people walking around today. In fact, I just met a guy at Frear Park Pub this summer. I hadn't seen him since he was 41 years old, and he died right in front of me in his living room, and I brought him back. So,
Oh, wow.
Nice.
there's people walking around that are alive nowadays. It's pretty cool.
Yeah,
Nice.
that's awesome, man. That's amazing.
Because that's something a lot of people, like me personally, I don't think I would be, I'm the guy running out of a burning building. I'm not going in it. That's just, you know what I mean? My mentality. I don't think I could do that. So
it's a different breed.
You guys make, I definitely don't go unnoticed.
And it ain't the movies. You know, you go in there, you can't really see anything. You can maybe see a little bit, and you got to just search for the glow and the fire. Then once you hit it with water, you don't see anything. So you're crawling around, you don't see anything. You're crawling around in the dark. You might as well close your eyes.
Right.
Yeah. Now, did you know anybody that was involved in helping out in 9/11 or with the New York City people? I know you guys, all the firefighters, whether you're in New York or Chicago, you know, everybody, it's a family, you know.
Yeah.
So it's you were working. I mean, when that went down.
Yeah. You know what? I had small kids at the time, and I really couldn't get down, but a lot of my coworkers did. I golf and hang out a lot. My buddy Randy, and he was down there for quite a while.
Yeah.
It wasn't good down there.
No, it was a sad, tough time, man, in New York City for sure.
Yeah, and everybody knew somebody, you know. Right. Even upstate New York, everybody knew somebody, probably more than one person that died in it, you know.
Yeah, absolutely, man. All right, let's get back to Frear Park. I got to ask you, what are your thoughts about the food at the turn situation at Frear Park? There is none. What are they doing with that building? I mean, they got to get something. I'm always, stomach is always gurgling, and I always want to eat something. So what's going on?
Well, I'm going to give you the latest news on the Park Pub. We've been saying, you know, where's the RFP, which is the bid? Big Mark that runs it now, you know, he wanted to retire a long time ago, but nobody put this bid out. They're supposed to do it last July, which would have been great. It has to be done very carefully. Now, not only do you have to hand it to somebody that's a ringer, you can't just give it to anybody. You know, people say to me, oh, I could do it. I could give it. No, it has to be a ringer, because if you ruin that place, I actually worked there part-time when it was bad. And, you know, it was, you try to order something, well, we don't have that. We don't have, you drink 3 beers, oh, we're out of that beer. The place was a mess. Yeah, we've been great before, but at any rate, it's a good place now. But Mark's ready to retire. Okay. So we're not sure when the RFP is coming out, but he just signed a contract, at least to stay November. But the trick is not who you give it to. It's the state liquor authority. Yeah. They got to be able to get a temporary liquor license. Then they got to get what's called a temporary ballpark license, which is for the cart. It's a big juggling act, you know? Yeah. But hopefully part of the plan is to run that concessionaire. I mean, there's people who make money with hot dog carts. You know, why couldn't, you know, some retired guy sit out there with his gas grill every day? And, you know, I mean, I think they'd make money, right?
Absolutely. Right. Oh, yeah. I mean, even over at Van Patten at the turn, you don't go inside in the summertime. They didn't have it set up this week when we went. But over there, they have like a table set, grill, and, you know, just simple things. Hot dogs, sausage, and peppers. Real quick, you grab it, and you go to the 10th hole. Frear Park is that's the one thing. They have a country club style course, but they are slacking on food at the turn.
Well, I think that should be part of the proposal. But like I said, it might, if you had the contract that goes with the contract for the pub, but you could just say to a guy, listen, we won't have nothing to do with each other. You go out there and you sell, if it's possible, you go out, sell your hot dogs and hamburgers or whatever you got, and some sodas or something like that.
Yeah. And how about
be part of that business and they hire somebody, but somebody will do it.
It needs to be definitely done.
Even a food truck you could pull up there.
Something.
Right down there through the back way. I mean, there's plenty of options.
Or in the how about the morning golfers? How you know kind of money you can make on breakfast sandwiches and cups of coffee. I mean, I like a hot cup of coffee, especially on a cold fall morning. By the time I get to the 8th, 9th hole and it's only 9:30, 10 o'clock, teed off early, I'm dying for another nice hot cup of coffee.
I got a coffee with me when I start. Except for in my league, we usually tee off like 10:20, 10:30, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Me and my buddy Pete. I always got a coffee, and I would love another coffee.
Right. So I mean, there's money to be made there for somebody at the turn. for sure. I just think it's just the club. I have no problem with the Park Pub. I love their food. We order food from there all the time for pickup. But on the golfing standpoint, it's a far ride.
It's a missed opportunity.
Yeah, and it's a
Well, you're not going to ride in. You're not going to ride in.
You're not going to do it.
Right.
No. And she's I don't know if your daughter did it, but they'll bring hot dogs to you or have them on the cart, but they're a soggy old hot dog.
Yeah, sometimes they have hot dogs. Yeah.
Yeah, they're just. I mean, I'll shovel it down because I'm starving. I'll eat a freaking dead horse at that point. But a nice fresh hot dog off the grill, nothing like it after at the turn.
Talk about something that would take little to no effort at all.
Yep.
You know what I mean? I mean, it really doesn't require anything.
No.
Bring your gas grill up with a couple bottles of gas and you buy your own stuff, or the restaurant does it.
Yeah.
Pay a kid to work there for whatever. I mean,
yeah, give the restaurant first dibs because they're paying rent.
Well, I think it's their business, but I'm saying they could sub it out to a guy,
right,
or they could do it.
Exactly. I mean, yeah, just an opportunity. But I think I have a complete, especially with the new regime over there in Troy. Carmela's already doing a great job.
Yep.
I see she's very active. I follow her on Facebook, and I think Frear Park is definitely one of the top money makers for Troy, and I know she knows that. So I mean,
she's a golfer herself. She's in a league.
Yep.
Is it true that Frear Park's the second biggest moneymaker for Troy?
I don't know. I know the water department. I mean, they bring in a lot of revenue. I'm not really sure what the revenue is. I'm not on the parks committee, and I didn't even look at that yet. I got the budget right here next to me, but I ain't looking it up. But I mean, let's be honest. It's when you choose a city to live in or stay in, you see what's going on. Like the downtown, we're lucky. We got a downtown. Like Albany's all spread out. Got a nice little downtown. You got so many different places to eat or go out to. It's like that. Frear Park is just another part of that.
Yep.
Yeah, it's
Troy. What we got for old people this summer, there's a couple places they're putting in pickleball.
Nice.
So it's just another thing to say, oh man, Troy, they got this great golf course. It's right here.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So
another piece.
What we were thinking about doing, because of how much the improvements are, like now that people actually care about the city again, is we kind of want to do something to give back. So me, Anthony, and Mike here were thinking about doing like a back to school tournament, because there is a lot of underprivileged people in Troy, and why not give back to our city that we grew up in and we care about. We'd love your help on this project if any way possible. Like I said, I spoke to Josh. We just got to solidify some dates. So if it's something you'd be interested in helping us with, man, I don't know your thoughts on it.
Absolutely. Actually, believe it or not, it's about 20% of people that live in Troy are lower income. We got a lot of housing. We got over 1,200 housing units in housing, and we have 900 Section 8 vouchers out there. So there's a lot of people in need. And one of the biggest expense, man, is back to school.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a great idea.
Even have some like backpacks that we'll have money for, when people register and everything. Even have like some backpacks there for kids to come pick out. We were throwing all sorts of ideas.
Yeah, we got some ideas. Well, we'll sit down with you obviously prior. And we'll details.
And when you get the money, you can turn around and buy these things in bulk.
Yeah,
right.
On the internet, it's a lot cheaper than retail, and
right.
You could really just. And I saw it before with a group. They had the book bags, and then they just took all the other stuff they ordered and put all the stuff in the book bags, and then boom, sealed it up. That's
Yeah,
that's a great idea. It's a great idea.
Yeah, and I mean, and then I think it just would be great for the city of Troy. And then, like I said, do it yearly, do it every year.
Yeah,
I mean, have this be the first year and call it the back to school back to school tournament. And we gotta be careful with I don't know whether we're talking about with the pitch, putt, and puff and with the school and kids. I mean,
I can just do it as part of this, and I don't really need that.
Or you could just call it the pitch and putt,
we'll
the pitch and putt podcast, and we'll figure it out.
Well, tell you the truth, that
he's doing great with that on the West Coast. I'm telling you right now, he is that avenue he took. He is blowing up on the West Coast. He really is. but you just got to be careful if you're
with the kids.
Absolutely.
with the kids. Upstate Golf Guys is totally fine.
Right.
But
I wouldn't worry about it too much,
no,
man.
absolutely not. We were just talking about that a little while ago.
Yeah, it's
Especially when somebody said, I think Rensselaer with that dispensary over there. My cousin Jimmy used to be on the council area. He said he thought the city just got a check from that dispensary for like 126 grand.
Yeah,
And when you see how close these budgets are at the end of the year, that's huge, really. You wouldn't think it's huge, but it is.
Absolutely.
So, I mean,
it's getting more and more accepted. It
See,
really is.
The thing is with it too is why lose that revenue to Massachusetts, where people were for the first 4 or 5 years they were open before us. People were driving out to Massachusetts to
yeah.
go to the
Well,
dispensary.
you could trip on a dispensary in Massachusetts.
Yeah, so
They're
many.
all over the
Literally.
place. And I'm not going to get into it, but 2 years ago, I put a post on Facebook saying, "Oh, they just announced the second dispensary upstate." Meanwhile, it had been approved by the voters 2 years before. Horrible rollout. In fact, they're just admitting it. Like this week, they're saying they got to mix it up. Horrible rollout.
Yeah,
Yep.
Yeah.
It's a tough situation that the way they're doing it is kind of backwards, but
Yeah,
it's a whole different
But
conversation.
I think they're getting it now, so that's good.
yeah. We could have a whole episode on that subject for sure.
And I like the fact because I represent South Troy, which is south of the canal.
Yes, sir.
We got, they loosened the laws, so we got a 24/7, they even give business cards out, 24/7 weed house down there, but it's right near 2 schools. And the kids are going up with book bags. If you get these legal dispensaries open, you could squash that, nip that right in the butt, get rid of it, because we don't want it anywhere near schools, or we don't want.
Nope.
Yeah.
A lot of people smoke weed when they're young. I did. I really wish I didn't, and I wish somebody would have my back. But
yeah, no, there's definitely people that abuse it for sure. It's my dad. He goes to the dispensary now just to get some sleep aid because he wants to do it naturally. He doesn't want to get sleeping pills or whatever the doctors prescribe.
oh, sure.
So they work for him, and then so I mean it's if you could definitely go the right avenue with that with the dispensaries and everything. But what back to Frear Park again? I want to know what you think what do you think the hardest hole is at Frear Park in your eyes?
Well, I could say for me, I mean, for everybody it's different. I mean, a lot of people say like 5, but the thing for me at 5 is I only got over the hill once in my whole life, and that was this past summer. But I usually end up on the hill, and for some reason, for me, it makes for an awesome second shot. Just I don't know if it's the angle.
Yeah.
So I never bitch about that. I'm 58. I only took up golf not that many years ago. Started a league maybe 8 years ago and only got serious a few years ago. So for me, it's the longer holes.
Yeah,
Like
it makes
15 is hard for me.
Greg,
It's
I think
just-
Greg said his hardest is the long par
14.
4. Yeah, on the back. The longer ones he has a hard time with.
Yep.
That's
14.
It just doesn't seem like I can make it happen. Now, I love 7. I usually am definitely past the turn in 2. Everybody else, that I golf with, they hit an iron and they're right up there, man. But
Yeah, I have a
I
hard
just can't. I can't, man.
I have a hard time with 17. I told Greg that's my actually hardest hole that I think, and myself, like you said, everybody's different. 17 to me, that par 3, the way the green sits,
It's a tough green to land.
I could never get the ball to sit. I don't know if I've ever actually landed the green, and if I have, I celebrate because it's a tough one.
That's far, man. I don't know. For me, that's hard for me because it's just far.
All the par 3s are long at Frear. You don't get that 120-yard par 3 anywhere at Frear Park.
All the par 3s are hard for me. They're all my toughest holes.
Then you're dealing with the greens at Frear Park. Props to Greg and company again for making those greens super firm, fast, rolling true. They are just amazing greens, but they are unfair sometimes, aren't they?
It's because they're so fast.
You really have to play there a lot for some of the holes, even to get what's going on. Like I'll tell you, my favorite hole, even though it's long, is 3.
Yep.
You know, I tend to always have it in the fairway. My second shot, I think it's fun. I always want to shoot it up to the right
Yep.
by the bunker so it rolls down. I never really do bad. But then you get to that green, because we're talking about greens. I've never seen a ball roll fast up a green, but won't go slower than hell going down when it's pitched like that. You're like, come
Yeah,
on.
no, my ball has. It's funny you say that because I feel like I've had the most beautiful approach shots on 3, and it has that like little bowl of in the middle of the green. But man, that uphill part is steep after that bowl, and these aren't 6 5-iron shots going into that green. These are 9-iron pitch and wedge, and I landed on the green, and like you said, you just all of a sudden the ball takes off. It goes down the little hill into the bowl, and it's gone. It's up the hill and off the green. I've never seen a green do that, and it happens to me all the time there.
My one buddy, Fairway Mike, he plays that hole really good. He usually plays it right up to that right side, let it bump and run, and gets it right down there.
Yeah, well, usually got to land in the grass or something just to keep, and run it down onto the green.
Well, he did that. There's no. Greg mentioned. He said, part of their design was he wanted an approach on every hole. So like if there was bunkers on the left side, he made that approach on the right. And that third hole, he made that approach. That I love that approach now on the right side. It's awesome.
But what about the green overall? It's like, depending where you are, it's like, oh man, you're up at the top and it's down at the bottom. It's like it could just go take a right turn like you wouldn't believe, or the whole thing, the whole green is like
the third hole is the toughest green to read because there's not really a true line on that. It could break any which way. It's usually going to be a double breaker. That's probably, I think, the most difficult green to read on the course. I think 8's the hardest, but that one's harder to read and get a true line on that hole.
Yeah, I mean every I say from 2, you have a break on the first hole with that green. That's like that green on 1 is like, all right, hey, this is a warm up hole, but 2 through 9 really, 2 through 9, every green.
Oh yeah, but you're right about 8. 8 can be brutal. You hope that if it's up at the top, man, there's no way if it's in. My friend Pete always says it's in the chute and it just rolls right up. You're not gonna keep it on the green if you hit it in the wrong spot. The luck of your second shot, if it's up top, you can hit it up, but that's just tough, man.
I think Roger said it on one of the podcasts. You almost have to land it before the green, but if you land it too short, you're in the same spot. You're in the same situation trying to get the ball to stop. So like you really have to hit that perfect spot, and it's not a big spot.
And if you can't spin it and stick it, that's a tough hole. Like, and there's not many people who can do that at all.
Yeah, I ain't doing that.
No, neither are we.
Neither am I.
Well, talk about greens. We got to talk about 7, right? And the changes in 7, because that was the one. Yeah, forget it. You could walk and roll off 4 times in a row. Oh, yeah. Now with that shelf, man, that could be really a lot of fun. It's interesting sometimes with the pin placement.
Yeah. He made way more pin placement. Like he said in the episode, there's way more available pin placements on that flat spots.
Flattening out the middle really gave the option to more spots for a solid pin, opposed to let's just stick it in the front and watch everybody chase their ball back down the hill.
Right. Yeah, no.
Yeah, that's all it was. But if he's got the pin up top, man, it's like, don't hit it too hard. It's going for a ride.
It's funny though. I'll still curse him out on that hole, even after they fix it. I'll be like, this hole still sucks because I'm in the mode and I'm up above the pin where I shouldn't be.
Spend all that money on what?
Yeah, no, it's they definitely made it a lot flatter, but it's still one of the tougher greens on the course.
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
Oh yeah, yep. But I enjoy it. Like I said, for my skill level, there's nothing I hate there. I play it all the time, and I really, some folks are like, yeah, this is all, but I really like playing the whole place. I really do.
Great.
Once in a while we go somewhere else and it's like, there's some crappy holes, or, there's rocks over on this side, or there's just something. My friend used to get Groupons to play places, and really it wasn't enjoyable. Every hole of Frear I enjoy.
Do you travel anywhere to do any golfing?
Mohawk River in the middle of the winter. Year in, we go somewhere at my league. We don't go away, but we go somewhere local. And from time to time, Frear is booked. Yeah, we'll go somewhere, whatever's open. We'll go to Clifton Park somewhere. We won't go crazy real far.
You're sounding more and more like Roger. Roger just does not leave his baby
Why?
Frear Park.
Nobody
There's
likes
no
to
point.
leave home.
There's no point.
Yeah. Well, you know,
I
plus
love.
I got the season pass and I'm rocking it.
Why
Yeah.
not? Why
Absolutely. Same.
not? I mean, if it was a dump, I would say, "What are you guys doing?"
Sure.
But it's far from it.
Well, no, I play in a league on Fridays. I'm in the All Troy League on Friday, so it makes sense to get and playing every Sunday. At that point, it makes sense to get the season pass, and then I get out during the week with a couple of guys from the Loop on Sunday, and it just works out. And it's close to home, so there's no reason really to go anywhere else.
Speaking of travel, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, you know, with those passes, they raise the price because the season passers are out there all the time. So they raised the price. They even got more season pass people. Didn't matter.
Yep.
You know, at this point, they just keep raising the price, but everybody just keeps buying the pass. And a lot of the tee times are locked up by the season pass holders, which they're looking to reduce that, but everybody just loves to play there. And the price is still really good.
Right.
Oh yeah,
For the quality of course you're getting, you're not going to beat it for
100%.
the $56 or $55, whatever it is.
Do they plan on doing a driving range anytime? Do you know?
I haven't heard anything about that. You know, the thing is, years ago, I'm going to go way back. This is like when the city was broke, 1995 or 6. They brought in this guy, Grandau, who was the city manager. We had a weak mayor then. Now we got a strong mayor system. And he put one in over by the tennis courts, and
Yep.
all it did was go over the water. And it had floating golf balls.
Oh, I remember.
So you could only use irons, and it was a disaster. It didn't.
Yeah, I mean,
Never
I'm saying kind of a spot. It would be enough for maybe 4 bays going into the hill.
No, the spot is over on 15th Street. I mean, you got to put a net up along the road, but that would be the spot, irons only. It's wide open
On
over there.
15th Street.
Is that
Yeah. You know, I always thought just past the, you know, where the putting green is there, you could divide it off. But I heard, Greg, I know there's, and I don't know whether, you know, the city would want that with the houses there, whether people with the houses would want it. 15th Street, I don't know. It's funny, that's part of the park, but that is absolutely used for nothing.
Nothing. That's
Yeah.
why I think it would be. I mean, obviously the house would be an issue, but that'd be.
Oh, the big
That-
open field.
Yeah.
I know. what
Yeah,
you're
right
talking
there by
about.
the- by
There's
the-
a sign that says "Don't hit golf."
Right by the circle.
Hey, no, I know exactly what you're talking
But
about now.
but nobody even uses it for anything that I see. You know, I thought once in a while maybe you'd see.
Dogs.
Kids playing flag football years ago, or kids playing
We
football.
got when we played flag.
Yeah.
Football practice up there, and one day we got kicked off up there practice.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know what the reason was, but
Well,
It doesn't get used at all. I mean,
It'd be
I
perfect
don't know.
one. It really
a
would.
little small, irons only.
that's all you need, though. You're not. Really
Yeah,
too
you don't want to rip them. Yeah, I don't hate that idea. Out at Cape Cod, the captain's course we play all the time. You have to actually drive, get in your car, you get your tokens, and drive to a different location.
That's how the place
It's up the road a little bit.
Binghamton was.
It's not like right there on the course. So there's always that option too if there's a spot.
Over on 6, or the softball field and basketball court. That's
Yeah, you
another
want to
spot
know
that doesn't
something,
get
Tom?
used.
How often do you see that basketball court used also there? I mean,
Well, I'm going to tell you a story. A while back, I'm not going to get into the whole backstory, but the whole parks department fell apart. The whole thing. That was part of the golf course. Nick Ice, you know, they don't even have ice anymore
okay,
in the ice rink. The parks fell apart. Everything fell apart. And that was just part of it. The softball field, I don't know. Every time I go over to hit some balls over there, it looks pretty unusable to me. Once in a while, they use it for some things, but that's another. It's just, I don't even know if it's repairable at this point.
Yeah,
I haven't went over there, but I doubt it.
people used to use the courts, but I haven't seen anybody on those courts in so long. I mean, turn it into something like make that area more practice for the golf course. Make another little
Or they
practice
just
area.
flip it and turn 15th Street into the park like a little softball field and put a basketball court there, and then turn the driving range over on 6. I'm going to the next city council.
Yeah. There you go. Go to it. I think you should.
We know Greg was saying that, and a guy I golf with that's a little bit older, Steve, he talks about how that's basketball court is where they used to tee off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Yep.
never knew that. That was interesting, man. That was crazy. But all right, I want to start kind of wrapping things up. I'm going to do a new thing tonight. I got this game. I usually do a 5 golf questions, like 5 random questions, but we're going to pick the five cards out of this, which they're basically golf questions, and we'll go around the table and answer them before we finish things up here. I think this is a fun little idea.
I got you.
You got me? Yeah.
Just grab a random
grab
one.
a random one out. What do we got?
What's the best comeback you ever seen?
All right. What is the best comeback you have ever seen? I guess we could go PGA, personal. I'll tell you mine before we get. Can I go first? Mine was my comeback at Frear Park last year in the Golf Week Amateur Tour, day 2. I was down 7 strokes starting the event. I came back, but I blew it on 17. But we'll go into another.
Oh.
But it was a good comeback in my eyes.
I don't really have one. I don't keep track of my stuff like that.
The best comeback, I got one for you. So in my golf league on Friday nights, I got this guy, Fairway Mike. We were playing, and our match was literally like we were stroke for stroke. We were on the 7th hole, and I hit a 3-wood. I was tucked right against the trees, and at the time, I had a nice slice to my shot. I swung this club as hard as I could. It went like it was going in the woods. Slowly took the right turn. One bounce on the hill, about 3 foot from the green. After that, my man was mentally checked out. I took the round, actually won my league because of that round.
All right, yeah. Tom, you got any good comeback stories with golf for yourself, or you're just best? Do you watch a lot of PGA? I mean,
I don't watch a lot of TV at all. I'll tell you the truth. When the snow flies, my TV goes on, and as soon as it gets warm, I never turn my TV on again. I'm out, seeing out, those concerts around. I got a motorcycle. I play golf all the time. I don't even stay home. But you know what? I'll probably never have a comeback. You know why? Because if something's happening, it gets right in my head. I'll be up there ready to putt, and
smart man.
Mental.
Yeah.
That's it for me, man.
Your knees start shaking, and that's it.
All right, we'll go to question 2 here, boys. What are the top 5 courses you'd like to play before you die? All right. Who wants to go first?
What's the top course you want to play?
Top course?
Yeah, because you go on all days thinking 5.
I'll go 3. I could rattle 3 off. We'll go Pebble Beach, Brandon Dunes, and St. Andrews. For me.
Yeah, I'd have to say St. Andrews or Augusta.
Yeah, Augusta.
Yeah, I mean, I forgot about that.
Augusta, Pebble Beach would be my top 2.
How about you, Tom? Of course.
I just think all those courses would be too hard for me. But I'll tell you what, when I do see golf, I see the desert. Those desert courses couldn't be any more beautiful. And I see them. And you know what? I go to Myrtle Beach every year for Bike Week. And, I bring my clubs. One day, how about all I want to do is play someplace that it's going to cost me $250 to play. That's what I want. Because it's going to be good.
Yeah.
I'll pay it. I have no problem paying it.
Half of the game is, to me anyways, is just seeing the beautiful scenery out there. And some of these courses I see on Instagram, I'm like, are these courses even real? Are these real life? It's like you said, they said the desert courses especially are amazing.
I want to play one course. I don't even think it's that great, but it's at the bottom of Death Valley, and that's the hottest place in the world. And it's the lowest in elevation golf course in the whole world. And I just want to play it just to say I played it. They must water the crap out of it because it goes like well over 100 every day.
Yeah. It's probably green and it's dry. It doesn't really rain there much. It's a desert basically. So
inch or 2 a year.
Still as green as can be so they got to have some really good irrigation system for sure.
I just wanted to say I played it.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. This is a good one. I like this one, actually. What would a dream foursome be for you? So it's 3 other guys, you and 3 other guys. Tom, you go first. Give me 3. And it could be family. It could be professional players. It could be anybody in your, in your close circle, whatever.
Well, let me just say this. Whenever you want your dream team, you always want to bring them to the tournament, right? And whenever I bring the dream team to the tournament, something happens to the dream team. They lose their total ability to play. I don't know. I tell you, I've only been to one pro golf thing in my life. I went to that, what is it? You call it live tournament, right? Or live or whatever.
Live tour, yep.
In Bedminster. Let me just say this real quick. So I get up there and they're just Dustin Johnson, a couple guys. They just hit it up on the green. When I get there, I go, oh, that was pretty good and everything. The second hole, there's like 6 tee boxes. They're at the back one. I couldn't have made it to the front one.
Right.
And the trees, they got a little tight down past it all and it opened up. When these guys hit it, I just couldn't believe it. I could not believe how far they hit it. And when I get down there, every ball was within a circle, like a small area.
Yeah.
I was just, it boggled the mind. So now I really want to start going to all these tournaments because to see it live was just amazing thing, you know?
It's awesome. We went to Liberty National down in Jersey, and it was phenomenal. The sound coming off the club when they tee off, it sounds like a rifle.
That's what I was just gonna say. It's not only watching it; it's the sounds. The sound. I've never heard a ball. I mean, I've played with some scratch golfers, and I don't know if it's the different equipment they use. I've never heard the ball sound the way it does compared to those PGA events. It's amazing.
The pro tournaments are nice.
You hear the whistle of the ball by your head, like not by your head, but it's like,
Yeah.
feet away, but you hear that ball whistling by you. It's fun. I tell everybody the best sport event I've ever been to was a PGA event for sure. I think it's better than any NBA game I've been to, better than football. Dude, you're up close, like you're literally hearing the caddies talking to the players and what's going on through their mind. You're just so up close with them, and it's an amazing, especially loving golf, dude. You got to go to one.
And when you're not on TV, it's surprising how much they talk about every shot. They got the little things they were talking. They got their notes.
All right, I'll go my dream foursome. I would say I'll go John Daly.
Oh, wow.
Brooks Koepka, my favorite golfer right now out there. I just love his attitude. I think he's
a Florida State guy. I can't mess with him.
So I'll go those two, and Mikey's gonna hate me on this one, but I've always been a Ricky Fowler guy. So I'll take those three. A fun, do a nice little scramble tournament somewhere.
I got 4 quick.
Go for it.
Tiger, Michael Jordan, John Daly.
I didn't even think of Jordan. That would be an amazing one, Michael Jordan. It could have been anybody, Tom.
Yeah.
That's a good foursome. Come on, Mikey, throw one out there. You watching off Instagram to know those golfers?
One person I'd like to is Justin Timberlake.
Okay, he's a big golfer.
Play around with him.
Cool dude, right?
Yep, absolutely. John Daly, definitely. I mean, the guy speaks for himself.
Well, listen, if you're playing with John Daly, you're partying, right?
Yep.
Now, if he ever got paid, and maybe he does, for every time he shows up in some kind of a reel or something or a thing on social media, he could make millions just off that because he's such an interesting character. He's all over social media.
So charismatic. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, absolutely. I haven't tried his new booze that he has yet. I know
so he's the Gala, I think would be my fourth. Have
you tried the booze that he always trashes the what's the big one that everybody, High Noon. He said this High Noon is junk. You got to be drinking. It's just like the High Noon. It's a vodka. Yeah. So all right, let's go on. We got to wrap things up here. Let's go on to question 4. If you could take a lesson from any professional, who would it be?
Oh, you know what? Actually, it'd be, what's it? Actually, it's a retired professional, but he's the putting guy.
Lee Corvino.
Yeah. I watched his videos and I go, I would love to take a lesson from this guy because, right? Everybody's thinking driving and this and that. Putting, man. And the guy was so good.
You're right. I like that answer. Raj, how about you?
I mean, if I could get a lesson from anybody, I want it from the GOAT, man, Tiger.
That's why when I said if you could get a lesson from any golfer, I don't know. I roll my eyes at Tiger. I have mixed feelings about Tiger. Best golfer. I think he's an amazing golfer. The best golfer there is. I just don't think he's a great human being that everybody praises him. They think he's like just got literally the guys. I'm
Never
not going to
been
get into
you
it.
Never been to Perkins?
I think listen, the guys drive fucked up multiple times. Probably could have killed a family. You know, I have 2 little girls.
Yeah, there's so many athletes you could say shit.
No,
like
I know, but there's just I don't like how I think he's changed a lot since his accident. I see him with fans a lot more out there in the course, but I know he used to be like, which a lot of players are like that, but he didn't give the fans the night and day back in the day.
Right.
I heard stories about him. He's just kind of a pompous prick, but whatever.
You know what I have to say? A lot of times when these people get fame and all they remember their whole life is fame. Somebody told me about a person that started in vaudeville, and I'm trying to remember his name. He used to be a sidekick with Judy Garland and everything. And they met him in Troy Proctor's when he was in his 80s, and he was just an ass. And I said, he probably doesn't remember a day that people just didn't cater to him. And so, you know, I think maybe stars who had a little bit of diversity, the ones that slept in their car and played every day to get on tour, they might act a little differently.
100%. Yeah, actually, somebody that's right there. If you've watched Full Swing, is Tony Finau. Everybody else was grew up country club. You know, million parents that they handed a silver spoon. You know, they grew up playing their whole life, practicing every day at the best country club of their town. Tony Finau, you know how he practiced? He had a garage. He put up an old mattress and he just crushed balls into the mattress. It's actually one of the episodes. So I have a liking for Tony Finau too for that reason, because he came from nothing. Good family man. I respect that for sure.
That grounds you. Also, to say for Tiger too, there's a lot of people in your life you'll meet. I'm 58 that are pompous and full of themselves, and then they hit a hard bump.
Yeah,
sometimes real hard.
That's what I say.
They see the light.
I think he has changed. I'm seeing some. That's why I said I have mixed feelings about him. I love watching his videos. I don't think there's anybody that's done it better than Tiger. I think the guy's the GOAT at golf, but I don't know. That's me personally. But
I'd like to take lessons from Padraig Harrington.
Oh yeah.
I like him.
Yeah, with his accent and his soft spoken.
I could listen to him talk all day.
100%. Yeah, he'd probably be an easy one to listen to. Because some people you get aggravated with giving you lessons. You got to definitely pick and choose right there. All right, last question, then we're gonna wrap things up. This is a good one to end things on. Tom, we're gonna start with you here since you kind of just started. What's been the hardest part of golf to learn? Hardest part of the game?
Well, I'm going to tell you because I'm dealing with now. It's consistency, and I'm going to tell you what it is I'll get up there, I'll hit a bucket of balls with, say, my irons, same club. That's it, man. It's going exactly where I want, right in the middle. I'll come back a day later, 2 days later. I'm like, where was I standing? What was I doing? Because I haven't played it enough. Nope. It's not sunk in. It's not motor memory yet. And I tend to struggle. And at this point in my life, I'll never take another lesson because I took a lesson a couple months ago and the guy tried to change everything I was doing. And it just destroyed my irons.
So, Tom, I actually tell everybody this. If you hit the ball and it goes straight and where you want it to, who gives a shit what it looks like? I mean, honestly, you start trying to, you got all these YouTube people in your mind trying to do. I actually did it last week.
Worst thing if you're
there's a video going around right now with Bryson DeChambeau saying, giving somebody pointers, and he said the same thing. He said, a lot of coaches are going to hate me for this, but you swing the way you're comfortable, and then a coach will coach you with your swing.
100%.
I have to tell you though, I think this guy thought I was a lost cause. I'm paying him $50. He's basically telling me, just stand there and just use your arms. Open the club a little when you prep through, close but just use your arms. Or I tried it, but then when I went back, it was a complete disaster. I said, never, ever again.
Yeah, just play your game. My hardest part to learn, and it still is putting, is keeping that face straight. Yeah. I'm always either push it. I can't putt.
Mine would be the short game, just chip it.
Keep it simple. I just cannot putt. I'm in a tour, the Golf Week Amateur Tour, and we have to putt everything to the hole, and that's where I lose all my strokes. It's a nightmare. I'm on the green in regulation probably 75-80% of the round, and I lose my strokes putting, man. 3
Yeah.
feet, 3 feet.
Hey, real quick, I was at Stadium last year and we got hooked up, me and my buddy Pete, with this couple, and they're up here in the summer. They live in Florida, and the woman was in a putting league, lights out, and she
Wow.
was like late 70s. She wasn't missing anything. She goes, "Yeah, I'm in a putting league."
Okay,
So
I
all
didn't
they
know
do
there
is
was such
putt.
thing.
You go.
I didn't know there was such thing.
Wow.
Oh yeah, neither did I. Man, it
have
was
to look
funny.
into
How
Did you
good
know
she
that
was.
there was a speed golf league? One of our buddies who does a podcast just had the world
I've seen
world
that,
record
like the
speed
fastest
golf with the
round or
fastest round ever. There's actually a league. So like not only do they have to finish the round at a certain time, but they have to. This lady shot like a 76 in under like she shot a 76, putting everything to the hole, and she played the round in like 47 minutes. It was
Dude, I've seen a video, but I didn't know that. Hey, I'll give you one. I just met a guy last month through professionally that does professional mini golf. And he goes, "Oh yeah, that place up in Lake George. There's a big tournament up there." I go, "Is this real?" He goes, "Oh, it's the whatever they got. It's PGA, whatever it is for them. They have a governing body and they have tournaments." I go, "Get out."
I see all that kind of stuff on it. I have seen like the hardcore mini golf players on the Instagram. I see everything on Instagram. Mikey, what's been your hardest part, Mikey, to learn in golf, being a semi beginner?
I think agree with Tom. Consistency. It's like I'll hit 2 good shots and flub two in a row, and hit 3 good shots and then hit 2 in a shank in the woods.
Yep.
It's just not consistent.
Yep. No, I mean
That's the hardest.
that's the difference between all us and pros for
That's
sure.
it.
Is
That's
the
why we're
consistency.
members at Frear Park and out of the PGA Tour.
100%,
Exactly.
man.
Well,
All right.
let me tell you something. I heard a young guy say what he did every day. He's trying to get on the tour, and the amount he practiced all day, every day was like, you guys probably know it. I didn't. It is mind-boggling.
Oh yeah.
Listen,
Yeah.
if you want to be, nobody's going to be great. But if you want to be a lot better, I mean, you got to go out almost every day.
Nope.
Yep.
Oh, there's especially even like the high school kids. They're going out before school, like the good high school players. They're going out at 6 a.m. and they're playing for an hour.
Create that
before,
muscle memory,
yep.
like you said.
Yep, absolutely.
There's
But
2 more high school leagues that are coming to Frear, I heard, too.
awesome.
Or
That's great.
teams.
They should want to. I mean, definitely the best course in the area. Shout out Frear Park. But let's wrap things up here. I really appreciate you coming on and hanging out with us tonight, Tom. It was actually a really fun episode, giving us a few fun stories.
Yeah, we'll definitely link up soon and have a conversation and iron out some details about the back to school tournament as well.
100%.
Yeah, I'd love to help out, man. Like I loved it. Like I said, I love Troy, a big history buff of Troy. I saw that Uncle Sam hat.
I know.
Mohawk River. I'm glad I met you guys. Everybody wants the hats, man.
I know.
All
Well,
my friends want the hats.
I was gonna say at the end, we really truthfully appreciate the support there, man. I see
Absolutely.
all your posts on Facebook, and I see you have a big following, and I really appreciate that support. Any sharing, we really love for sure.
And thank
Anything
you
Troy related gets shared, man. I love it.
and thank you for everything you're doing for Troy.
100%, man. Yeah, keep
Yeah,
up.
I mean, it's just the start. It's awesome, man. This is my hometown, and to see it just gets better and better and better. I represent South Troy. Once we get that gentrification down there, because it's already down in Little Italy, down by Redfront, it's going to be great. I met a guy the other day who's going to open up from Brooklyn. He's opening up a pizzeria, going to sell slices down South Troy.
Amazing.
We get the crime taken care of. Things are really going to happen.
Nice.
Build Troy back. I love it, man. All right. Well, thank you everybody for tuning into this episode. I appreciate you all listening and all the support as always. Tune in next time to another episode of the Upstate Golf Guys podcast.
518 to the Cape.
Later.